Got to get down fast. If you can't get him clear off the 2, you better be down.
11 cars. Of course, everyone is qualified for the All-Star race tomorrow. Nobody goes home. So this is for starting position tomorrow. And as I think Kevin Harvick said, every position you gain moves you up 1 row.
Yeah, there's no way to quantify track position, how important that'll be, even that 200-lap race tomorrow night.
Suarez and Elliott share the front row. The pace car, Chevy Camaro, is on pit road. And we're ready to run heat number 1, green flag.
Trying to roll back outside here, outside bumper.
Chase Elliott is there.
Got a great run on that second groove, and again down in turns 3 and 4, got a great run in that 9 car.
Oh, contact among the leaders as they come up out of 4. Chase sent it in there, and it's stuck.
Sure
He's
did.
got the lead.
Take it.
Power move. Lots of grip.
Hamlin looking for 3rd on the outside, maybe 2nd.
I'm going to put that into these wet weather tires. That is no man's land on slicks. There's no chance you would be up there.
Well, it definitely worked for Chase Elliott. And Denny Hamlin, he's going to make it work on Joey Logano down the back straightaway. He's going to take 3rd away.
Didn't quite get down, trying to get down. Not clear.
Hamlin on the outside. Briscoe drops down. That leaves Harvick alone on the outside as he battles Blaney toward the back.
Ooh, Kevin.
Went way up toward the wall and won. Harvick did in that 29. Well, they're able to use the whole width of the racetrack.
Harvick's doing that on purpose right now. He did the same thing in 3 and 4, up 3 grooves off the bottom.
You ever seen anybody run the fence at North Wilkesboro? Larry?
Well, if you ran the fence in the past, the next thing you hear is a spotter saying, "Are you okay? Will it crank?"
Hold the brakes. That's amazing. That's all on these wet weather tires, guys.
Love it. Hamlin fighting for 4th with Logano.
Now Chase Briscoe in that 14. He's become a player up there behind Logano and Hamlin.
I think these tires are all, I see these cars are tight. These tires don't have any stagger. I'm right on that, right, Larry?
Not as much as the slicks.
Because they run them on the road course as well. That's why these cars are shooting up the racetrack a lot tighter.
Briscoe wants 4th place. He's inside of Hamlin now. Logano has cleared them both.
Kevin Harvick in that 29 car. Boy, that's hard to remember. But he keeps trying the top side, but it's not paying any dividends right now.
All right, Hamlin gives it up. He falls in behind Briscoe in 5th. Blaney in 6th. Cindric, Bell, Stenhouse, Jones, and Harvick.
Amazing to watch these guys run that outside. Been sitting here watching late model races, truck races, practice. Not one car up there unless they were fixing to hit the wall. These guys are preferred groove on the outside, making some hay.
Lap times, I'm seeing lap times like we saw in practice yesterday on the slick, maybe even a little bit quicker. We definitely are faster. We just looked at the practice times from yesterday.
Yeah, about 1/10 and a half quicker than practice.
By 4, nothing keeping up out back. Nice and smooth here, coming to lap 10.
Now, one thing we don't really know, Larry, is how these tires are going to wear over a long run.
Well, we know they're going to wear, especially as the track dries out, because they're treaded. They don't have near as much rubber on the racetrack as the slick. So that's where we got to be really careful as this track really starts to dry out.
And then as a driver, right? All right, well, this is the way the car's handling now. Pretty tight out there. Everybody would assume when you put the slicks on, when the track dries out, the car's going to turn more. Question is, how much more? Do I need to tell this guy to make an adjustment, or where am I at there? A lot of confused cats on this pit road and behind the wheel.
Well, that's where you're going to have to rely on what you had yesterday in practice. Of course, conditions, whether it's slick or wet, it's perfect right now. It's cool. There's no sun. I mean, this is as good as the racetrack's going to be.
looks that way, but I wasn't sure if he could turn the wheel.
You can see how hard he's turning it. It's really tight there. Hooked that perfect. Kind of diamond in the corner. Hear him jabbing that throttle, trying to get it to turn.
All right, Denny Hamlin is in 6th, and he's drifted back almost into the clutches of Austin Cindric here. And there's Logano with pressure from Chase Briscoe.
Wearing the front bumper out of that Mustang. Pressure, you call it.
Here's the 11.
I can't hear. Is anybody shifting to help it turn? No, I don't think so. We're fine.
Plowing tight, Hamlin says.
Yeah, you could see it. Harvick's really tight as well. By the way, those are the cars that were way up the racetrack using that outside too. Doesn't surprise me. That stagger's very important.
And with these cars being that tight, these wet weather tires wearing, that's where the right front will really start to wear with it being tight.
Briscoe a little impatient with Joey Logano. Has given him a pop getting into the turn now a couple of times in the last 2 or 3 laps.
That's good old North Wilkesboro racing right there. The way they diamond that 1 and 2, it's all about hooking that apron or not touching the apron. You watch some of these guys clip the apron off of 2, and it really upsets the cars as low as these are.
That's now a 3-car battle for 3rd, joined by Blaney.
That's an option that we watched all day long in that truck race. It's not available with these cars. As low to the ground as they are, they can't, just cross that apron and change, the elevation change in those corners, the banking. These things will bottom out.
Guys, we almost have a battle for the lead. I'm telling you, Suarez right now, his car is really in that 99, really going through the middle of the corner, especially down in turns 3 and 4. He has run Chase Elliott down.
There's that grip patch I was talking about, all the way, left side's all the way around. Interesting thing is, sitting there watching, again, I was watching that truck race in 3 and 4. They were clear down on that concrete.
There is quite a change of angle of the surface, though, from that concrete to the asphalt. The trucks could handle it fine. Not sure about these cars,
You
though.
just saw it with Suarez behind him. As soon as he touched that left rear down on that apron, a car came out from underneath of him on the exit of 2. This is good racing. These guys are battling tight conditions. It's pretty evident with all of them. But it's all about how you clip that exit, especially off of 2. That's the one that I see the most.
All right, Larry, we're 1/3 distance. Seen anything odd?
I really don't. I'm amazed, though, at the lap times with these wet weather tires. But as a crew chief, I'm starting to wonder how much those things are wearing as this track has really started to dry out. That's my biggest concern.
Well, all right. You started, your fastest lap was at 20:42, and you're running 21:09s now.
Boy, Suarez really got through the middle of 1 and 2 good that time. He's able to drive his car so much deeper in than Chase in that 9.
Yeah, but somehow you're going to have to figure out how to get off the corner faster. You're not going to be able to pass him getting in. He's right down on the bottom. You can't go through him. Oops. There, that's how you do it.
I believe he gave him a little bit of a break right there.
If you can diamond that corner up in the middle and get straight shot off, see, that's a great run. Good forward bite out of Suarez.
That pair has half a straightaway on the 3rd place battle of Logano, Briscoe, and Blaney. It's now single file.
He's definitely turning the center a lot better than Chase.
In there.
Oh. One of those, yeah, you hear Chase tap dancing on that gas pedal there. Just like we heard Kevin Harvick, tight. See him get in the middle of the corner, kind of go to a wheel lock, not really sawing on it. That means you're dead tight and the front end just isn't turning. It's not responding to your input in the wheel. Dead indicator when you see somebody go to a wheel lock and not really move the wheel.
Now. Gonna go for a shallow entry here.
Ooh,
he got into him there.
Got him up the racetrack.
Opened up the door.
That's Wilkesboro, man. Seen that 100 times here. Any old race You watch at this place. That's how you get it done.
All right, payback time.
I don't know if he's going to be able to get back to Daniel to get a payback.
All right.
Daniel just drove away from him.
3 laps to halfway.
Those lights blinking in the back of the cars. That would bother me on the racetrack.
You know, those are FIA rain lights. They use them around the world in different forms of racing. Some sanctioning bodies want them on solid. Some want them blinking all the time. I'm with you, Clint. I think that would drive you pretty crazy.
Well, you said it. They're for rain conditions. These aren't even really, we don't even have a mist or anything spraying off the cars.
Yep.
I'd be asking to turn them off.
Jamie Little.
Christopher Bell in 8th right now, and after 32 laps, finally starting to hear chatter about the tires. He's saying the right front tire is just done. He said, I feel like it's about to blow. We need a caution. And weather update, guys, there are some light sprinkles still, as you see it on the windshield right there.
No, there's not. Thanks, Jamie.
What Jamie reported there is exactly would be my concern. These tires wearing worse than the slicks, but these cars being tight, it'll have that right front just chunking.
That's it, Larry. These the tires have blocks of tread and sipes or grooves in between. So every block of tread has an inner and an outer edge, and that's an opportunity to build heat in either of those areas at every tread block, not just, say, on the outside edge of a slick tire or inside edge.
Well, that's
we'll see.
Yeah, when they get hot like that, they start blistering. Then they'll start coming apart, and it doesn't wear. You actually get a blister long before the tire wears out.
All right, we have passed through halfway in qualifying heat number 1 for the NASCAR All-Star Race. NASCAR waved the caution flag for non-competitive pit stops to change to slick tires. Because those concrete pit boxes and parts of pit road are not completely dry, NASCAR did not want to put the pit crews at risk with competitive pit stops in this situation. So they are mandating a change to slick tires for the rest of this heat.
And honestly, I think that's the way it should be. Again, those pit boxes were slick last night in total dry conditions, and I just think with the whole circumstances, this was as good a test, though, as we could have ever asked for those wet weather tires and this wet weather package.
Well, and they proved to be good. They proved to do their job. The lap times were actually faster than what we had on slicks.
Well, now they've thrown an audible. They are going to stay on the wet weather tires and allow them to change in a non-competitive situation to check tire wear from the first set and give them a fresh set. Okay.
Well, and we heard some drivers complaining about the right fronts being shot, and that's just from these cars being tight. So we know how far they can run, so we'll be good to the end of this race right here.
So if you look down in the groove, right on the bottom of the racetrack, it's light gray. That means there's still moisture, up in the top. You can see where it's just barely on the bottom starting to dry out. So that's why they elected to stay with the wets. The other thing is 35 laps in, I want to see what these tires look like. Are they getting too hot? Are they blistering? Do I have a problem? Last thing you want to do is have a tire failure because you stayed out too long, knowing that it was in the cards and could happen. This is the right call.
This is pretty cool. NASCAR has long used their All-Star race as a petri dish for innovation. That's how we got stage racing. It's how we got the choose rule for restarts. And so here is another opportunity with these wet weather tires. And I won't say I'm amazed at how they perform because Goodyear does a fantastic job for the sport. But I'm excited. This was fun.
But, Mike, you can go test until there's no more tires and no more fuel, but you don't know until you put it in a competitive environment.
Good point, Larry. Jamie.
Well, Mike, it's been really fun listening to the radios and the back and forth and what they think they should do until NASCAR told them they do have to go from wet tires to wet tires. And the 12 of Ryan Blaney, happy to come in. He said the right front was killed. He's just way too tight. They're going to try to make an adjustment. You see it right there to help him. The 14 of Chase Briscoe said, I like these tires. There's way more grip. I like it. Let's stick with it. So they're going to help him out a little bit. Wants a little more front turn, but Chase Briscoe enjoying it. Regan?
Well, Chase Elliott told his team he was a little too aggressive too early and hurt the right front. He felt like it was going to be the right rear that he had to worry about, not the right front tire. Unfortunately, that made the car get too tight for him, but he did mention that these tires have more grip than the dry tires to him. Said it was pretty wild to his guys, and the 99 of Daniel Suarez out front started off a little bit tight. Team told him the car would come to him as the run went, and that's exactly what it did. And of course, he was the first guy saying it's too wet, leave the wet tires on, because he was fast.
All right, I'm sure you two will have a look at tires up close, but I had the binoculars on the right front that came off Chase Elliott's car.
There they are. Look at that.
Look at that. And Elliott's tire has still had plenty of tread on it and didn't seem to have any blistering. Jamie.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is the right front off of Christopher Bell's car that what he talked about was just destroyed. And this is the right rear, so you see the difference, but the tread completely gone on that right front.
Shows you that's the right call. That's why NASCAR did what they did and threw this caution. Great call on their behalf.
You know, you talk about how much grip, and we talked about how much faster. Even up about lap 10, we were seeing 6 to 7 seconds a lap of full throttle. Lap 10 last night in practice, it was hard to find anybody that had full throttle anywhere around this racetrack.
But look at what we've just done. Never in the history of NASCAR could we have done what just happened. Starting a race on wet weather tires on a surface that was not dry. We'd be sitting here running jet dryers and air Titans for another hour or so. But we've been able to go racing. Well, hats off to Goodyear and to NASCAR and to these teams for making this work.
And we got a lot of tracks that this is a possibility. All tracks 1 mile and under, excluding Dover and Bristol, plus all of our road courses.
All right, 1 to go. They'll line, because those were non-competitive pit stops. They line back up in the order they were running when the caution waved, lap 33. Suarez, Elliott, Logano, Briscoe, Blaney, Hamlin. Now, Clint, have a look at this for us. The yellow line is practice on slicks in the dry. The blue line is what we just saw with the wet weather tires.
Look at the traction that he has up off the corner. That's, I mean, enough said. Full throttle, just like Larry just alluded to. The traction, the grip level that they have on these wet weather tires is far superior than even a slicks.
20 laps to go. Tire wear should not be a factor over 20 laps, so let her rip.
Chase Elliott, now remember how good he was at the beginning of the race when those tires were fresh. He didn't get quite the run off turn 2 that time that he did at the initial start. Tell you who else was glad to see that caution. Kevin Harvick, Eric Jones, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. They were about to get lapped by Daniel Suarez prior to that caution.
Yeah, Kevin's struggling with the handling on his car. Denny, I thought Denny, you know, from practice, right, what we learned in practice, those Gibbs cars were really fast.
Joey Logano takes the short way around through turn 4, and it gets him second place. Here comes Briscoe to the inside of Chase Elliott.
Maybe a good adjustment there for Logano. Freed that baby up. Seems like it's rolling the middle way better.
And just remember, it was about 20 laps, which we've got less than that to go, but it was about 20 laps into that first run. That's when Suarez in that 99 car really came to life.
Elliott can't get down. Now he's got Ryan Blaney to the inside and the 11 of Hamlin.
Yeah, just not being able to get down for Chase. Can't get.
Finally gets in line behind Elliott. Elliott behind Hamlin in 6th place, and Christopher Bell trying to take that away.
Can't push it too hard, though. The track is drier. I mean, you saw those tires. Those things were completely shot. A drier racetrack, they're going to wear even more. I still think you have to manage them a little bit here.
And that just makes me wonder if that's the difference with Chase Elliott in that 9 car, or did they make an adjustment that just did not go the right way? Because now he's lost a spot to Christopher Bell in the 20.
Yeah, Elliott's back to 7th. And losing touch with the leaders here.
Just like we saw in that first run, though, Suarez just keeps getting stronger and stronger the longer they go. Putting some distance on Logano behind him.
His center corner speed just looks so much greater than the other competitors.
Yeah, you can see Briscoe putting the pressure on, getting in the back of Logano. It's time to go.
Hamlin to the inside of Blaney. That's for 4th place.
And Mike, that all started. Blaney checked up for Briscoe on the exit of turn 2. Hamlin takes advantage of it.
Because Briscoe had Logano jacked up in front of him, stacked him up, spit Blaney out.
Well, remember, every position here is another row forward or backward in the starting lineup tomorrow. And Blaney loses a couple of spots there.
$1 million in the moonshine still on the line. I got to go. I ain't here to make friends.
Bell inside of Hamlin, 4th place, turn 1. Christopher Bell was dog meat in the first half of this race. Boy, they have tuned him up.
It's amazing how well they adapted it. Probably quite a bit of air pressure changes there, Larry, so a lot of wedge out.
And you know what I'm seeing? These drivers turned, almost everybody turned their fastest lap right after that restart.
Daniel Suarez has already run 2 races here this week. Probably got more time on this track than the fellows he's racing against. But 2nd place now looks like Joey Logano is kind of holding up Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell.
They're definitely holding up Christopher Bell. That 20 car is fast right now. It has really come to life.
This is where you're going to start shifting, trying to use that gearbox to get that car rotated, get a drive up off the corner to beat him to the other end.
And this is where you're not going to play nice. Logano wants to hold on to that 2nd row starting spot tomorrow.
So now the pressure's on Briscoe. He was applying a lot of pressure to Logano. Now he's looking in that mirror about the Christopher Bell coming on his bumper. Got him looking in the mirror. Never a good thing, Larry.
Well, and with Logano and Briscoe holding up Bell, all of a sudden now Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, they pulled right up to the back of this group.
5.5 to go. Suarez in a cakewalk now. It's all from Logano on back.
And Mike, you mentioned it. You look Logano back to Blaney. That's a huge difference where you're going to start that all-star race.
Briscoe's going to have to move him. Question is, will he? If he's going to get around him, he's going to have to move him. There's that downshift in Blaney we were talking about. I think you have to, if you're going to lean on him, you're going to have to do it getting into the corner. Get it out from underneath of him, getting in, run him up the racetrack.
3 laps to go.
And that's hard to do when you're looking in the rearview mirror.
And Christopher Bell, he realizes I'm faster than these 2 guys. I just can't find a way to get around them.
Well, he's faster in the wrong areas again. Like I was talking about, you can get in the corner and be faster. You can't go through him unless you're going to go through him. If you're going to hit him and move him up the racetrack, that's one thing. But you got to be able to be better than them up off the corner. That's where you're going to pass.
Might save that bumper for tomorrow.
Don't want to make him mad tonight.
Right. White flag. 1 lap to go.
This Suarez is so fast, he wasn't even in the shot.
No.
Very impressed with his race car, the job he did. They were ready for the opportunity, and boy, did they pounce on it.
Christopher Bell almost got up beside Briscoe in turn 2 and just couldn't make it stick, had to back out of the throttle.
Daniel Suarez wins qualifying heat number 1 from Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell, and Denny Hamlin. Ryan Blaney 6th, Chase Elliott 7th, Kevin Harvick rebounded for 8th, Austin Cindric 9th, Ricky Stenhouse, Eric Jones. That is the way they will line up on the inside lane.